concentrates so much on, not only do you have to look pretty good, you've got to write good songs, you've got to be able to stand out in front of an audience and entertain them, and you've got to be a good interview. And so, that in itself is a pretty good job, pretty full job. You got to spend a lot of time in your day doing that. So to do something like form a record label and personally scout bands and sign them, and then everything else that's gone with that.
Because we're such a multimedia culture now. It's like, it's not just listening to something, it's also looking at something, it's also wearing something. It's everything's blending together, I think, no matter what form of entertainment it is. So I think that has a lot to do with it. So
you could take the cynical point of view and saying they're really getting all they can while they can. Or you could say they've done a great job of sealing what's available to them and not letting it take advantage of them. They're taking advantage of it.
If I were in a band, I probably would delve into those other things too, because, like, you don't want to throw all your eggs in one basket. It's like, oh, if all of a sudden our band breaks up, whatever, well, at least I sell the clothing line, so I can still eat tonight, so it's like, I think it's probably a good idea anyway. But I think just because we're just in a culture where it's just like, ooh, gimme, like you want the whole sensory experience. I think that that all makes sense, that things like music and clothing and video and all that stuff mushing together makes sense, I guess.
We live in a society that's so saturated with media that all you can do really is kind of play off of that media, and we've grown up completely immersed in media.
I think it's great, I think it's smart that he's setting himself up for a lifetime career, and he's making some wise decisions and using his Fall Out Boy fame to kind of propel his entire empire. So yeah, I could see that, and definitely there's a whole image to the band, and I think that image pervades through the bands on the label, and the look of the label, and the look of the clothing, and the style of writing and the illustrations and stuff.
So far, all these projects, you can tell they're all things that they're interested in doing, and you can tell that they're really closely involved in it, and that they're picking these bands that are going on their label, and that they're involved in the clothing line and things. So, none of it feels like it's going in the wrong direction. I think it's just all an extension, and if people want it, I think, they should give it to them.
It's all kind of like this complete package, and I think they're just tapping into all this, like, teen angst that kids are experiencing right now, or that they've experienced perpetually, and I think kids are buying it. They're loving it, and he's speaking directly to them in all these different mediums. That's great.
Well, I mean, with the clothing company and the record label, aside from the Grammy Award-winning band that he's in, that's kind of an inspiration to me. I wish I could be doing some stuff like that.
I think it's great. I think you look at a band like Kiss, they sell caskets, so market.
Putting a little bit more art in the world.
That's smart. It's smart, definitely smart.
For Fall Out Boy to have action figures and posters and be on the cover of every magazine and be everywhere, I say amen, get it. Because you never know, it could be over tomorrow.
In an era where new bands seem to disappear as quickly as they emerge, Fall Out Boy are bucking the trend. Their songwriting talent, slick live performances, and fan-friendly public image has propelled them to international fame and recognition from their peers. With the next album on the horizon and their star firmly in the ascendant, the future looks even brighter for Fall Out Boy.
It's just been an amazing, and it happened quick, it's just been this meteoric rise where those were the guys that were always around, they were there, and you never thought twice about it, that they've sort of just become these figures, and they're having their own action figures made now, and they're everywhere, and they're inescapable, and they're great guys, and they deserve every little last bit of it, and they've worked hard for it, that's for sure. They've put their time in.
I think what they're doing is completely phenomenal.
Right. I mean, they're good-looking young boys from the Midwest who are charismatic and know what people want to hear, and that's like the If your goal is to become popular or big or whatever, you have to know how to cater to a certain audience, and it seems like they knew how to do that.
You know what? Yeah, they were one of the better bands we had in. I mean, when we were doing this, we had a lot of bands in, but they were one of the more high-profile acts. And the afternoon show that they came on, loved them. And the performances, we put them up as MP3s on the Q101.com website. I still have those on my iPod, and they're actually really tight performances. I know that they've been on various incarnations of our morning show, and you know, they're a band that has a strong relationship with the radio station here and a lot of other Chicago institutions, and you know, they definitely perform well live. They've played station Christmas shows for us, and you know, done a lot of things like that. You know, a tight group, and you know, for as kind of jokey as they can be in interviews, they, you know, it's only because they can back it up.
To tell you the truth, I really have no concept of how big that band really is until my little sister asked me if I could give her, you know, some posters and some CDs of Fall Out Boy, and I'm like, yeah, sure, why? She's like, oh, they're my favorite band. I love that band. And you know, the coming weeks, she's, you know, clipping photos of Pete and Patrick out of, you know, little girly teen mags and stuff like that, you know, teen heartthrob mags. That's just wild. It's like, oh, I've been in the same room with these guys. It's not, I don't know. I just don't have any comprehension of like what stardom is and stuff. I see bands come and go. You never know which one's gonna make it.
I think America or the world or wherever, they always have to have a band like Fall Out Boy around. It was Good Charlotte for a while. Who knows, maybe Fall Out Boy will hold on to this for another 5 years and stay that band. But there will always be one of those sort of teen sensations, and if not 5 or 10 of them, you know, but yeah, the world needs a Fall Out Boy.
But it's got that, like, just roll your window down, driving down the highway, rocking out to kind of feel to it, you know, so, and I think that's why it resonates very well with a young audience.
I mean, the music definitely speaks for itself. I do think it's like Grammy award-winning material. I think their songs are really catchy. I think the stuff that they sing about is relevant to like what kids are going through nowadays as far as like MySpacing and relationships, and
It's surging, it's up-tempo, it's anthemic, you know, it's everything you want rock and roll to be.
I don't know, I think their fashion kind of helps them a lot too. Not so much like Joe and, what's the singer's name? I keep Patrick, yeah. I don't think they're too fashionable, but I think Andy and Pete are pretty right on with the whole fashion thing. I think that appeals to like kids nowadays.
I mostly just hear stuff through friends and things like that, but it's like, I mean, they've done nothing but progress. I keep up with their records and the music that they're writing and stuff like that, but it's just gotten better, you know?
I don't know, I think they just got like a real like powerful presence, and it's kind of like impossible to ignore. Wait, who, huh?
Hilly's the guy that owns CBGB's, the old dude.
No, I saw him around. I didn't like introduce myself or anything. I actually stole some stuff off their desk because I was so mad at them. I was like, well, I'm getting something out of this. I just saw like a new promo copy of the Jane Doe Converge CD just sitting on the desk. I was like, oh, it's mine now, thanks.
Shattered